capital, Nairobi, the world's leading manufacturers gather. First away will be the Volkswagen Golf GTI of Germany's Irvin Weber. Tipped as a likely winner, Weber leads the 54 starters off on their 5-day, 4,200-kilometer safari through Kenya. Reigning world champion Juha Kankkunen is back with Toyota. Finnish supporters are out in force as Kankkunen leaves the ramp. But the man who won last year for Audi, Hannu Mikkola, is back in an Opel.
You're happy to be in a two-wheel drive car again?
You know, it doesn't bother me.
Lancia in particular have had mechanical problems, but the brilliant Mickey Biasion still has high hopes, teamed with Kenyan veteran Vic Preston Jr. in the new Delta Integrale. Sporting a space-age breather snorkel on his Subaru, Kiwi Possum Born is hoping that four-wheel drive will help him if the going gets too muddy. Nothing separates the leaders as Weber leads them southwards for Mombasa. There is trouble brewing for Voldegaard's Toyota. A broken wheel for car number 8. Bourne's Subaru will also drop from the leaderboard before the end of the first day. The rocky challenge of the Titas begins to sort out the front runners. Weber's Golf bounces over the twisty, rock-strewn surface and leads the rally, despite destroying its exhaust system. Kankkunen wrestles with a broken shock absorber in the wieldy Supra, dropping to 10th overall as the second Golf of Sweden's Lars-Erik Torp closes in. Overhead, the leading teams benefit from aerial support. Mikkola's Opel twitches nervously over the ruts. Time has been lost in a mud hole. But Biasion's four-wheel drive Lancia is sure-footed, despite a spate of driveshaft problems. Sweden's Ericsson is taking things carefully on his first works outing for Toyota Team Europe. Bourne's lack of power in the Subaru is evident as it slows through the curves. But the surprise performance of 1988 comes from the Nissan of Kenyan Mike Kirkland, in top form and joint fourth. The enthusiasm of Patrick Njiru is evident as he struggles to keep up with the works teams. A little too exuberant at this time control. There are 83 controls in the 1988 Marlboro Safari Rally, and crews must check that their arrival times are correctly stamped at each and every one. After a night's rest in Mombasa, the cars head back for Nairobi, past the brilliant backdrop of Mount Kilimanjaro. Biasion has snatched the lead from Weber. The Lancia looks good. Weber's Golf has suffered a broken drive shaft, but he pushes on. Vic Preston Jr. has overcome gearbox problems to move into second place, aiming to emulate his father who won the Safari in 1954 and 55. Kirkland continues his dogged pursuit in the Nissan. He is now joint fifth with Ericsson, who heads the Toyota charge. World champion Kankkunen, calm and composed, lies seventh. Leader Biasion is really flying in the Lancia. The Italian may hate the all-pervading red dust, but he is kicking up a storm. Kenya's Kirkland has the bit between his teeth. This is surely the best drive of his career. He's had 14 previous attempts, but in order to win, he has to shake off the attentions of Ericsson and Kankkunen in their Supras. Finland's Kankkunen is putting up a faultless display, which befits a two-time world champion. The Toyota team know they have a fight on their hands if they are to retain their crown as kings of Africa. They have won the Safari 3 times in a row.
Yes, it's been a great year for the Lanciers, and Mickey Biasion making the most of it there in Africa. Plenty more dust and rocks and also some very nice bush.
Road users flounder, but works cars treat mud holes with contempt. Biasion has stopped to change a blown turbo, so it's teammate Preston who takes full advantage of four-wheel drive to move ahead. Kirkland, hard on his heels, has closed the gap in his rear-wheel drive Nissan. Ericsson makes a mighty splash in the Supra. Kankkunen is more circumspect, if less spectacular. Biasion, underway once more, is undeterred by his delay. The second works Nissan of Sweden's Per Eklund is also now up with the leaders as the cars head back to the Nairobi rest hall. Hannu Mikkola has retired with a blown engine. The Opel mechanics battle to keep Hyder's Cadet running.
It's in. Danny, can we go with only the wheel here with no brakes?
Veteran Safari favorite Rauno Aaltonen does his best to help with suspension failure.
Yeah, we get a wheel on this. You just go without. It's okay, forget it.
And the Opel is back in the running. Patrick Njiru is determined to get his Subaru back to Nairobi. Patrick's service crews may lack the polish of the finely honed works teams, but their sheer determination and enthusiasm will carry their man to the ramp if necessary. Kirkland's Nissan is first back to Nairobi, leader of the Safari with Ericsson.
A few punctures and a lot of dust.
Toyota's Kankkunen is just 3 minutes behind the joint leaders in third place. At the restart in Nairobi, torrential rain awaits the leaders. Almost half the field has already retired. Ahead lay the northern sectors around Mount Kenya. The crowd cheers joint leader Kirkland on his way north. Ericsson knows that a front strut needs attention. Kankkunen's Toyota, too, has an appointment with the service crews. The ever-busy Per Eklund, now fifth, is unruffled in his Nissan. Sixth now after his turbo failure, Biazion is thoughtful. Ahead lie many kilometers of rough, tough motoring as the cars head over the equator on some of the world's most grueling roadways. Biazion and Siviero are in fine form and looking forward to the contest ahead. Toyota Team Europe are prepared for action as their world champion driver Juha Kankkunen watches carefully. Day 3 dawns. Kankkunen has taken the lead from Kirkland, a nice birthday present. But now Biazion's Lancia is hard on the Toyota's heels, and Kirkland's Nissan is right in there fighting. His teammate Eklund is now 4th overall. Toyota's Ericsson is 5th. Then, drama. Kankkunen's turbo blows. Biazion and Lancia are back in front. Just 4 minutes and 40 seconds now separate him from Kirkland's Nissan. After a lightning turbo change by the Toyota engineers, Kankkunen is 3rd and still thrilling the fans in his wake. The super-fast Supras are certainly crowd pleasers. Biazion's Lancia has run like clockwork. There are no problems for the man from Bassano del Grappa and his great friend and co-driver Tiziano Siviero when they arrive at the Nakuru rest halt with nearly 9 minutes in hand.
Well, Lancia, Nissan and Toyota, and really the
1988 Marlboro Safari Rally. Biazion is very much in command, while Kirkland chases as hard as he can. And 4th-placed Ericsson chases the Nissans. The terrors of the Kenyan terrain have taken their toll, but the champions press on regardless. Fifth-placed Kankkunen is majestic, losing no time at all. Kenyan champion Duncan deserves all praise for a fantastic drive, 6th in his Subaru. Privateer Rudy Stoll is en route for a top 10 finish in his Audi, while New Zealander Bourne is struggling against adversity for a top 10 placing in his Subaru. And still there, Kenya's Patrick Njuru fights on to the promise of a top 10 result. At the end of the 4th day, back in Nairobi, Biazion and the Lancia Delta Integrale have a lead of nearly 10 minutes. What can Kirkland do?
My tactics at the moment are to try to put pressure on Biazion to make him drive as fast as possible and maybe have a problem.
Ericsson is still some 20 minutes behind Eklund in 4th place, but Toyota are still well positioned to take the team prize, with all 3 cars still running strongly. That is not Nissan driver Per Eklund's concern.
We back up Kirkland and try to be in front of all Toyotas. This is the most important.
The 5th and final day. Just 511 kilometers separate Biasion and Siviero from a famous victory. The Lancia must keep on running, the hare ahead of the hounds. And Mickey is on peak form. He has conquered the Kenyan challenge at last. Back in Nairobi, a traditional welcome awaits. Biasion and Siviero return to the Kenyan capital to claim Lancia's first safari victory. Against the odds, the 2 young men are the first Italians to conquer motorsport's greatest challenge. Bravo Miki, bravo Tiziano, and brava Lancia.